guys, welcome back to BoozeRevooze in black and white. I'm D'Amico, and today I'm doing a whiskey. Yeah, this one is Canadian Club Small Batch 12-year, or Classic 12-year. I've had it. When I originally opened it, I wasn't a big fan of it. So I figured I'd do a review, see if I've changed. I mean, I've probably had this, 4 months ago, so I wasn't even feeling well, as I remember. So let's see if it's kind of changed on my palate. Canadian Club was made by the Hiram Walker folks out of Canada, Windsor, Canada. And I don't know what little territory that's in. I guess I could have done the research on that, but I didn't. At any rate, Hiram Walker is currently owned by the Beam Inc. family, so Jim Beam folks, who are buying up a ton of real estate and a ton of distilleries and labels around the world. They just bought up Cooley Distillery out of Ireland about a year and a half ago. And they are going to be making some really big waves here soon in the US again. So back to this. This is their 12-year. I'm pretty sure most of you have had or at least heard of the Canadian Club Standard or Premium as they call it, and that's 6 years old. This one is 12 years old. They also make a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old and a sherry cask and a 100 proof version of their 20-year-old or something like that. I've never seen them. I really haven't had much interest in them. I'm not a huge Canadian whiskey person because I don't usually do cocktails with whiskey. I've been trying to as of late, but I normally don't drink that stuff just because I don't. I'm not knocking Canadian whiskey at all, because I'm sure there are some good. Well, there are actually a couple of good ones. Collingwood, I think, is a Canadian one. That's a pretty good one. I think I would drink that neat, maybe even on the rocks. Actually, get my glass cleaned out, whiskeyed up. I learned this from watching some dude, some master blender, Richard Patterson. I probably poured too much in initially, but oh well. Alright, so I don't have the exact malt bill for this one. It says on their website that they use the expressions are each made from different ratios of corn, rye malt, and barley malt distillates. So that can be anything. By the way, if you're in Canada or if you visit Canada, I hear that they order their whiskeys a little bit different. They just ask for a rye. So a rye with Coke, a rye with soda, a rye with ginger beer, whatever. Just generically use the term rye for whiskey. So, I mean, the whiskey itself may not even have any rye in it. So I think that's kind of cool. Sort of like here in the United States, if you go to the South, in the Southeast even, where everything is a Coke. Any soda or even soft drink for that matter is a Coke. No matter if it's Coca-Cola or Pepsi or any other brand, they're all a Coke. Did you like, so if you ask for a Coke, would you like an orange Coke, a grape Coke, a strawberry Coke, a lemon lime Coke, a Mountain Dew Coke, whatever? It's kind of funny to me, but I mean, we all have those products like Kleenex. You don't ask for a tissue, you ask for a Kleenex, which is a brand name. It's kind of funny. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. A little bit more, so they talked about the age. They say that they age it a little bit longer than industry standard, which I have no idea what that means, in Canada at least. They're using once used American white oak bourbon barrels to give its whiskey this mellow flavor. So, oh, it already smells a lot better than I was used to the last time I had it. very sweet, very caramel, vanilla, pecans, like a praline, pecan praline type smell. Slightly caramelized sugars, a little spice. If I didn't tell you, this is batch C12019, 40% alcohol by volume. Yeah, I definitely must have been ill or coming down with something the last time I had this, when I first opened this bottle. Yeah, because this tastes infinitely better than I remember. A little bit of caramel, or not caramel, well, definitely caramel, vanilla, sugar. I mean, just like it smelled. But there's a hint of a charred oak, a charred wood bite, like a charcoal. You know, maybe they steeped a little bit of charcoal in it. I don't know. But yeah, very woodsy. I am actually pretty damn impressed by this. 12 years. I would guess they're probably not adding caramel coloring to this. I mean, you can get some pretty dark coloring even out of a second used bourbon barrel for 12 years anyway. But I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure their 6-year-old is using some form of caramel coloring, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. In fact, don't ever quote me on anything, because I just make shit up as I go along sometimes. Just kidding. I do some research. Maybe not as thorough as I could, but I do the research. I put the work into it. Yeah, nutty, pecan. It's actually well layered. I mean, there's almost a salty quality to it, like a salted caramel quality to this. Yeah, it's interesting because I was just talking to Bane the other day, and I was saying how I don't know how I would ever drink this neat. I mean, I would probably put this on the rocks, and I was like, maybe think of some cool like cocktails. I mean, it's a 12-year, but it was like 18, 19 bucks a bottle. So, I mean, it wasn't breaking any bank or anything, but I think I could sip on this, bonfire, cool fall evening here in beautiful Minnesota. It's a little overcast, which is fine because, the sun would be beating down on me right about now. Let me try a little bit with some water, just to see what it does. I don't think it can do much. I think this is a light enough whiskey, more of an approachable whiskey, that it probably wouldn't need to be have any water. But I just want to see if it opens it up a little bit, maybe changes some characteristics. No, not really. It lightens it up. but I'm more of a flavor hound, so I probably wouldn't add any water to it. Like I said, it's very approachable. If you're new to whiskeys or just starting to get into them, I would suggest starting out with some decent Canadian whiskeys. They're a little lighter, a little more approachable. They're typically used a lot in cocktails, in whiskey cocktails, just because they're more approachable. They're not so, I don't want to say pungent, but full flavor to some, like some of our American bourbons are sweeter, similar to this, but they're, I mean, they punch you in the face. They let you know that they're there, as well as some scotches, as well as some of the whiskeys coming out of India today as well. Ireland, you could probably get away with things like Jameson, stuff like that. That lighter quality, more refined flavor, if you will. Yeah, this is good. Like I said, I probably wouldn't put more water in it, but oh well. I tried to experiment with it. Well, I'm really glad I came back to revisit this before I just left it on the shelf and let it collect dust. Yeah, so I would probably rate this, I'd give it a solid 82 points. 82 out of 100. I mean, it's not going to be the perfect whiskey. It's not the best whiskey. I'm not going to grade its flaws or anything like that, because I don't know. I'm not like whiskey advocate dudes, you know. Like I try not to get into that. I just want to, you know, out of 100 points, I would give this 82 easily. So please let me know if you guys have had any of the other ones. Let's see, the sherry cask is what I'm most interested in, because I have not seen that one anywhere. The 20 and 30 years either, I have not seen those either. So if you guys have had those and found those, yeah, leave a comment. I want to know what you guys thought of those. If you've had the 12-year, how are they compared in comparison to the 12-year? How is this one in comparison to other Canadian 12-year Canadian whiskeys? Some of your favorite Canadians, you know, Crown, all that stuff. I mean, I know they're pretty basic. Everyone's had them. They're readily available. But yeah, okay. And now, since I was just thinking of the Crown, I was thinking of that Crown Maple. I'm getting a little maple pecan action out of this thing now too, so maybe I just made that up in my head, I don't know. So alright, Canadian Club Classic 12-year whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, and there's a plane flying overhead. I apologize. Yeah, 82 points is my rating. Like I said, I'm glad I tried it again, because I wasn't feeling well, if I recall, a few months back when I originally cracked this open. And then, I mean, I absolutely did not like it. I was so mad that I, you know, just dropped 20 bones on something that I'm probably not going to drink. So, yeah, this goes into my personal stash now, and not my open to friends stash. You know, you got to keep them separated, you know, keep the good stuff for yourself. Yeah, I'm blabbering on. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.